more to do than can ever be done. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high in the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's the circle of life. Alright, move over. Move over. Yeah, move over. We're going live, Mila. Move your ass. Originally had it for the beginning, but it didn't turn out that way because I've never done a YouTube live stream. So, hello, welcome to my stream. I'm not good at YouTube, so this is very weird for me to introduce myself. But here I am. And can you feel the love tonight? No, I can't. I can't feel the love tonight. There's no love put into this film. I don't feel it. I cannot feel the love tonight. Or as Beyonce does, whatever that was. Oh boy. So I just watched The Lion King. Now, I didn't go to the movie theaters. I have an app. It's on, I believe it's on Kodi or some other app. So I was able to watch it for free. I didn't want to go to the movies because everyone was saying it was really bad. And I was like, well, if it's really bad, I'm not going to go pay money for it. And The Circle of Life is still on. It's finishing. Raised up soon. I also had this. I'll show that. You guys would like it. That was actually, when it first came out, they had pictures that came out, and it's like collectibles, so I'll show that. But, so, when I first saw the trailers for The Lion King, I was super hyped. I was very excited. I haven't seen The Jungle Book. The only live-action one I've seen is Beauty and the Beast, which is an unpopular opinion, but I actually really liked it. I wasn't crazy about the original. That might be it. I just like the newer stuff they added in it, but that can be for a whole nother video. But I was very excited about this because I'm like, oh, it looks so good. It looks real. It looks just like the movie looked. And I was like, yay! Good for me. And then it got closer and closer to coming out, and I got more excited. The one thing that did throw me off about the trailers was I was so excited that James Earl Jones was coming back. There's an ad playing right now. But when I heard him in the trailer, for some reason he sounded off to me. And I'll also get to that later in the movie. I was happy he came back. That was one of the ways I survived. So, and then the reviews came out. I follow Nostalgia Critic. I love him. I think he's awesome. And he was basically saying he was furious with this movie and it was horrible, and everyone's posting how shitty this movie is. And I was like, okay, if it's that bad, yeah, I'm not going to pay for it. I'll watch it. And I was like, but I wanted to watch it. And I went in there with like my previous excitement and some of the critical stuff. And I did watch it. And I'm not a wine drinker. This is fruit punch, but I wish I was, and I could get hammered and forget about this movie. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I should get shots of fruit punch. Maybe the sugar will go to my head and I'll go into a sugar-induced coma. That'd be great. Oh, and also because I'm new at this, you're going to have to deal with my shitty sense of humor. So, you're welcome. Oh boy, where do I start? The opening scene. For the first bit of it, I was really excited. I was like, hey, this looks just like the original. And I also have a thing of, these are cons and these are some of the pros. They don't have lines, so they're a little lower. I got very excited. I was like, wow, this looks just like it did in the animated one. It looks so good. And I was very impressed with it. And then, like, you see everything. You see Zazu, you see Mufasa, you see everyone. I'm just like, this is so neat. And I do have OCD, so I was a little bit of a stickler for, instead of using that little weird coconut thing that he rubbed on, he used like a branch of sorts. But I was like, just whatever, that's just nitpicking. And I was really happy about that. I was very hopeful for the movie. There were a few things I was like, in the beginning. But I liked the opening over. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The singer, I don't know if it was the original singer. I didn't like who was singing the opening. It might be because I'm probably going to compare it a lot to the original at the end. I will compare it by a standalone movie, but I will probably be comparing it a lot to the original movie. I did not like the singing. Actually, I didn't like any of the music, which is really bad because I'm a music junkie. To the point where if there's a rehab for music, I need to go to it. I listen to it 24/7. So when I say I didn't like it, that's not really good because and especially since I love Disney music. I will blast Disney music all day. I don't give a shit how old I am. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I love Disney. I will watch the animated films 1,000,000 times. I don't care. But I didn't like the opening. It was the voice. There was something off about the voice. I can't explain it. I'd have to watch it again, and I don't want to watch it again. Please don't make me watch it again. Maybe I will, and I'll have a further analysis, but I don't like it very much. And I'm probably going to get shit for later on when I talk about Can You Feel the Love Tonight with Beyonce in it. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, the music is so much better, especially Can You Feel the Love Tonight, which is like the bane of everyone's existence. But it was also one of my favorite. It's also one of my favorite Disney songs, so probably gonna get torches thrown at me or something. Wasn't crazy about it. I don't know. It sounded shaky to me, and it kind of sounded like they were trying too hard to sound like the original. To the point where it's like, it sounded too hard to the point where it's kind of not great. And that can happen if you try too hard, you take the soul out of it, and it doesn't sound or look or whatever as good. That's just it. So that drew me back a little bit, but then the opening scene came up, and I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, well, and then like everything came at me. In like a minute, you see Simba talking to his dad, then they're going up there, and then talking, they're going back. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, what? And the first thing when I heard someone talk, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. What have they done? I did immediately his voice. It was like nails down a chalkboard for me. I was like, no. Could they have recasted someone, a kid that was maybe a little better? I will say this. I'm not good with names, so I'm just going to say original and modern. I love the original casting for The Lion King. The original voice for Simba, I actually really like. Some people don't like it, but you can tell the kid gave it his all. He tried, and when they needed emotion from him, he gave it. It was very good. It wasn't just phoned in. You could tell he was trying, and I think he killed it. Even if you think his voice is annoying, you gotta admit he killed it as the role. That said, the opening, and they go through the whole thing where it's your son, it's before dawn, and I was like, oh, God, that's horrible, because I was excited for James Earl Jones, but that scene went by like this, and it wasn't funny like it was in the original, because it went by like it was nothing. There was no pacing, there was no timing at all for it. And James Earl Jones kind of sounded like Mufasa sleeping through the whole movie. Like, he didn't sound like he wanted to be there, to me. Because in the original, you could hear, like, I'm trying to think how to say this. You could hear the emotion. He would pause. You could tell he would lower and higher his voice, like with the hyenas and everything, but it just sounds like he's just talking, like having a conversation with like any person on the street in this. And that really upset me. I could see why from the movie. But that went on. And there's like a little thing that actually bothered me. In the original movie, when Simba and Mufasa are going on the cliff, you see Sarabi, and Simba is weaving in between her legs, and she like gives him a little nudge on the butt. And I thought that was adorable, because you're like, that's cute, and you could like, obviously it's his mother, but in a way you can kind of get that parental bond from them. In this movie, it just went like, okay, we're doing this, now we're doing that. That was taken out for some reason. They're on top of the cliff, they're talking, and I'm thinking, this dialogue, it's so cringy. I did not like the dialogue at all. I was, the kid's voice, it's just, that was also another problem I had. The entire cast, I think they seem like wonderful people, and I'm sure they'd be very good at acting if they had a little bit more lessons. And I'm not saying it's easy. Voice acting's not easy. It's hard. I'll acknowledge that. A lot of things are hard. It's a talent you have to have. However, whenever I heard most of the voices to this movie, I'm like, I could have done that better. Like, I mean, I could talk like this, but, you know, at least, like, if I tried to, I could put some emotion into it and just, like, something, anything. Like, not just, oh, your father's dead and it's all your fault. No, I can't believe it. Like, that was most of the movie. And I'm getting off track from the beginning because I'm trying to put it in order. Anyways, so that bothered me a lot, actually. With the interaction in the beginning with Sarabi and Simba, especially since in the original movie she didn't have much interaction, so I guess I kind of appreciated in the movie that they added a little bit more to her. So they go on they look at the kingdom. I can't remember what he said. The beginning half of the movie, I was annoyed. I was like, oh, the last half is better. It wasn't better. I was just bored. The first half just annoyed me, and the last half I was bored out of my mind, and like I wanted to sleep the whole time. It was not okay. But you see that Zazu comes in. Dear Jesus, if I said the kid voicing Simba sounded like nails on a chalkboard, it sounded like a row of people just scraping a chalkboard, but right in your ear. I was annoyed with the guy that voiced Zazu. Towards the end of the movie, I think he did a better job. But in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, because there's the scene with Scar, and I'm just like, I think part of me also was like, this was the original lines, and I agree that was a little bit of it. But on the other hand, the lines, like, it feels like they're trying to make it original, but also make it what the original was, and it doesn't flow right. It's like all janky and weird, and I don't like it. And then I know Scar comes in at that point, but Zazu's just annoying. And it's just like, I don't, he seems like, in the original, he was like kind of frantic because he was like, I'm the advisor and stuff like that. But he's just kind of like, he just seems like more frantic, like he has ADHD. He's like, I'm here. Oh no, this. Oh, here. Like, I couldn't keep up with it. I'm just like, that's not what Zazu acts like. And he kind of just, he seemed like, I think one of the things I liked about Zazu, he wasn't in there much, was he was an advisor, and I know they saw him as a babysitter, but he was also a friend, and here he just kind of feels like an advisor, and strictly that, like, there's no emotional tie, and that's very upsetting as well. Scar, the design doesn't look too, unpopular opinion, doesn't look too bad, because they're trying to base it off of real lions. Real lions, I believe, lions with black coats. I don't think they're completely black. They're mostly like black towards the roots. So I think they did their best with that. I did like the design, I guess. sometimes the head would look a little too big for the body. I think they thinned him out, but I think they should have made him a little bit more thinned out. Make make him look more, I don't know, malnutritioned in it, which I know probably wouldn't make sense, but his original was lanky and, you know. By the way, did he have a scar? Hold on. Hold on for a second. I don't remember seeing that, actually. Now I legitimately have to look this up, if my phone works. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I don't remember seeing a scar, but the animation's realistic, so I don't know if it's under there somewhere. Oh, he does have a scar. Sorry, I just had to go off there for a second. It's not as noticeable because it blends in with his coat. So, there's that. The voice actor for Scar, I have mixed reviews on. He is, I'll get to that one later, too. I don't know. I think maybe, here's my thing about the voice actors and all. I think they picked the right voice actors. I would have preferred if they got the original cast. I know if them can't play like the original Sarabi, she passed away, the voice actress for her. But I did like the original voice actors, and I'm kind of wondering why they didn't add them into this, but I'm not a director. How would I know? It's a lot of work. I probably couldn't do it. Hakuna Matata. But yeah, the voices, I guess my main thing with why I think Simba's voice was annoying was because he just sounded like he didn't care. Like, I know he's probably a little kid. And like I said, voice acting is hard, and that's tough for little kids. It's hard to get actors or actresses that young. However, I think they should have given him like lessons a little bit, because it sounded like the entire time it didn't sound like he was acting. It sounded like he was talking what was supposed to be read instead of acting what was supposed to be read. And I don't know. I don't know. It bothered me a lot. I'm reading some of the stuff I wrote down. That is another thing I'm gonna have to get along to. The animals. Yes. The animals. The empty husks, as I'm told they are called. Disagree and agree. The animals are mostly done wrong with the emotions. Capturing emotions, people are saying in the original, it's because you give them like different facial expressions. I think one of the biggest important thing about emotions, I believe, are the eyes. Eyes tell everything, and eyebrows, obviously, are important because if you're angry, your eyebrows furrow. If you're surprised, they go up. So, and obviously, like, we smile, we frown, blah blah blah. But I definitely think eyebrows and eyes are the biggest thing. So, and body language. Forgot that. And body language. That just tells body language is a huge indicator of emotions. And most of the time the animals did just look like they were animals, and when they were talking, I'm just thinking, the entire time I was looking at the lines, I'm like, gee, remember Aslan from, like, Narnia? He was a great character. Like, I liked him, and maybe it was the voice, because if I think about it, he didn't show, I guess, too much emotion, but, like, he showed enough, and I liked him. I thought it was pretty convincing. I liked his character. But, like, here, it just feels like anime, where they just, like, have speech coming out, but it's really just going like that the whole time. It's kind of what it looked like. There were parts in the movie where the animals did show emotions, and a lot of people are saying real live animals cannot show emotions. I disagree with that. I could show you a lot of pictures of my cat. I'm sure you saw when she was on here. You could tell she was not happy. But I do disagree with that. Animals, I believe, can show emotions. I think it's because they don't have eyebrows. people are like, no, but like they got it in some parts of the scene, like when Scar became king, and you see Nala when she's little, and you can see her, she's cowering, her eyes get bigger, and you can see the mouth go down a little bit, and her ears go back. You can tell she's scared. That's showing emotion. They got that right. That's how you do it. So I thought that was very good. And it's like, why didn't they do this for the rest of the film? Like certain parts they showed, like they give the animals emotion. I'm just like, can't you just do that again? And I know this is all 3D animation, but like, guys, come on. And it's 2D animation. It's fucking hard to do, by the way. They had brought in real lions for that as well, which was awesome. But like, guys, I know it's 3D, but 2D animation is just as hard, but it's in different ways because they have to sketch it out, get a whole flipboard of stuff, and put it into the computer and animate it, or even just hand draw it. That's how it used to be done. It used to be just fully hand drawn animation, which is really neat because it doesn't look like that. So I think they should. If they made it, I feel like we all knew they were going to make this. That was a given. But I think they should have taken more time out to make it. Because some of the animation was good, and there were parts that's like, oh my god, they did it! And then they stopped, and I was like, no. And then the voice actors, I was like, that's a good line, and they butchered it. It's like, you're not supposed to, like, take one take and be like, Dad, oh no, cut, we're putting that into the movie. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like they just had the first take and just put it into the movie and said, we'll love it because of nostalgia. Just shove it in there, and everyone will be happy. It's not, obviously people are not happy about that. Everyone hates it. I don't like it, which I'm very upset about, because this was the one live action movie I was looking forward to. Like, really, really looking forward to. And I'm praying to God they don't make a Disney live action Hunchback of Notre Dame or Tangled, because those are my Hunchback is my favorite movie. Lion King and Tangled are kind of second, third. I haven't decided yet, so I'm praying they don't touch my my first or second, third favorite film. Because they just keep making Disney live actions. It's really sad, actually. There are things, like, here's the thing, there's a difference between The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. A lot of people hated Beauty and the Beast. I look back, I know they didn't like Emma Watson. I'm just like, what are you gonna do? She looked like Belle. I was like, yeah. There's a difference, though. Beauty and the Beast added on things that were very important and added, like, elements to the story that was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And that's also one of the reasons why I think I like it more than the original, because there was, like, a scene with the castle where every time a rose petal would fall, the castle would fall a little bit more apart. The characters would become more like they become like more like items, less like people. Like, I thought that was amazing. And I liked they did fix the 10 years we've been rusting, because then the prince would have been like 12. So I appreciated that. But like, they just added stuff like that to the story. And they added what happened to Belle's mother. And I loved that. And I loved how they made the Beast kind of a dick. Like, in the original, he was like, I'm horrible, I'm a monster. But in this one, he's just like an asshole. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And they made it so he had an education because he was rich. So of course not. So I felt like there was more bonding between him and Belle. And I'm getting off topic. But what I'm getting here is that they added stuff onto that movie that made it more likable. And in this one, it felt like we need to do it exactly the way it was, but we're also making it our own, which ended up being just a mess. It's just a mess. Like, a lot of people were saying Disney's running out of ideas. Maybe They might be, if you want my honesty, I don't think they're running out of ideas. I think they just want a cash grab. I'm not happy with Disney right now. I think they can make original ideas 100%. I just think they know that they're going to make more money off of something that people know. That's just me. Originality, I'm an artist myself. It's not easy coming up with original shit. I know for the past while I've been redrawing my old drawings. It's not easy to come up with new stuff, and I think we all need to understand that. But at the same time, Disney needs to understand, hey, maybe if we all work together, we have our own stories, we can merge them, we can edit them, instead of just spewing out just shit, just like shoving it into the audience faces. Like, hey, you like this? Here, take it. Let me shove it down your throat some more. No. Anyways, back to the review, because I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of negatives. Alright, so, going back. Didn't like Zazu. They're talking. They did the pouncing scene, which I think was 30 seconds. I didn't count. It felt like 2 seconds. Where in the original, there's like a gopher, and he's pouncing, and Mufasa's listening to Zazu, and it's a really cute situation. He's like, let me show you how it's done, and it's good. You could see that it builds up their relationship more. But here it's like, hey son, let me show you pouncing. Go do it. And he does it, and that's it. And he's like, oh, the hyenas are coming. Oh God, the lionesses and Sarabi are out there, which I actually liked, because in real life the lionesses would have definitely gone after them because there's more of them. So that was a nice little touch. Anyways, they just went after him, and Simba and Zazu were talking, and it like goes to the next scene. They talk for like 10 seconds, it goes to the next scene. I'm just like, did they know that interactions don't, like, people interacting don't act like a small child on a sugar high with ADHD? That's not how interactions work. I feel like a child did direct this, and they were giving him sugar, and we're like, here, you don't want to be here? Well, we'll give you more sugar as payment. And he's just like, oh, what did this happen? And this happened, and this happened, and this happened. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I watched the original. I guess that means I know what's going on. No. They go to the next scene. Simba goes to see Nala, and hold on. Give me a second. I needed that. Oh God. I hated Nala in this movie so much. Not really older Nala. She was cool. Younger Nala. Oh boy. First of all, there's several things. Nala and Simba have no chemistry at all. Actually, the movie's supposed to be pretty much around Simba because he's the main character. I didn't get any character from him at all as an adult, and barely any as a kid. That pissed me off. Nala got more character, which was nice, but I wish they just... Ugh. So Nala and Simba are with each other, and there's that whole scene with, we're going to the water hole. You don't like the water hole, Simba? And he's like, let's go anyways. And I liked in the original where they're more sneaky about it, and they're like, I'll show you and get there. And she's like, oh. And then like, can we go, please? And it's like really cute. It's how a kid would act. Instead of just like, she's like, fine. And he's like, fine. And his mom's and Strawberry's like, go take Zazu with you. And it's okay. And in the sorry, I know I'll compare it to its own standalone movie later, but in the original, you see them as kids. You see them conversing. Like when Zazu's flying up there, you see them having a conversation. They're acting like two best friends that are young would do. Because they're talking, they're like, where are we really going? He's like, to a graveyard. She's like, whoa. And it's how a kid would react to stuff like that. And it's really, and then there's I Can't Wait to Be King, which is a wonderful scene. Obviously, they couldn't do everything they did with that. I will say this though. The kid voice actor for Simba is a very, very good singer. Unless it's someone different who did the singing voice for him, but I think it's him because I'm just assuming because I looked up the voice actors for it. I don't know if I can. I'm scared of clicking on that. The singing was very good by him. I was very impressed, and I'm assuming that's why they cast him because of his singing, which made a lot of sense. I'm like, oh, this is why they casted him. And same thing with Nala. I'm like, that makes sense why they casted him. Was it a good decision? Fuck no. It was a horrible decision. I didn't like Nala's voice actress at all because Simba sounded real little and she sounded like she was like 12 hitting puberty, and I was like, this sounds kind of weird. I did not like that. I thought Nala was boring because in the original, she and Simba were acted like two little kids. Kids get into trouble unless you're me when you're little and you just sat in the corner of your room, were too shy and didn't want to get in trouble because it was bad. That's about the exception. But kids get in trouble. It's what they do. They're kids. They don't know any better. And this one now is like acts like an adult, and I'm just like, I'm sure they're like, oh, she's wise beyond her years. Well, that's not how it works. She's with her best friend. They're doing something dangerous. So, and she's just like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't do this. And then, just wait. To Be King plays. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. That was actually the one thing I went out thinking. I'm like, it's not probably gonna be good. It wasn't as bad, but it wasn't great either. I think they could have done more with it. I really do. I think they could have made it very, very good because some of the scenes they had, and I was like, whoa, that's really good. I wish they expanded on this, and they didn't, and that bums me out. God damn it. I'm gonna get like a 40-minute review. Shit. I gotta speed this up. Okay. So, pretty much what I wrote down, and I think this is completely true, all the charm that Nala and Simba had as characters and with each other is just gone. It's just storytelling for the sake of just telling a story and not fleshing out or making you feel things for those characters. And that's not good. Obviously they get that done. They go to the graveyard scene where Nala annoys me more, and so does the voice actor of Simba. Again, he shows like he's just like, look, it's a graveyard. Ha ha, look, Nala. And I think he's laughing. He's like, I laugh. No, sorry, that's too much emotion. I laugh in the face of danger. Ha ha. And then Nala's over there like, we shouldn't be here. This isn't a good idea. I'm just like, dude, just okay. It's not a good idea. But like, again, it's a kid. One of the cool things about the original is they went in there and they're kids and they're like, this is awesome. And also the elephant graveyard is boring. In the original, when they were like toppling each other down, which also sucked. But in the original, they noticed it when the gust of like green steam blasted up and they looked, there was nothing visually good about that scene. It was just, it's an elephant graveyard, and then you see the hyenas. The hyenas annoy me so much. They're so annoying because you can tell they're trying so hard to be funny and trying to recreate that magic, and all it turns out to is like that one annoying guy who thinks he's funny, but it's a lot of them. It's like two of them that are obnoxious in your face, and I thank God that they were not in this movie more, or else I would have blown my brains out. I was not happy about that. And I can't speak today. I'm an idiot. Shenzi comes in. I actually really loved who did her voice. I think that was the best voice cast. I love the original, But I would actually give it a tie for whoever did her voice, because it was super good, and it was super threatening and super menacing, and I liked it a lot. It was very good. And I have no complaints about that, which is cool. But then there's the whole chase scene, and that goes by in a jiffy, and I just, like, again, in the original, it's interesting. Like, one of the coolest scenes I think out of that is when they're running and there's a gust, and then the hyenas put their heads through and go, boo. That scared me as a kid. Like, it still gives me chills because I'm like, ah, oh my god, it's them. But in this one, just like, run away, run away, run away. We're surrounded. And then Mufasa comes in. And I actually like that scene too, because he's just flailing hyenas everywhere. He's just kicking them around. I'm just like, yeah, that's so cool. But they didn't have that one funny scene that I loved from the movie, which kind of bummed me out. Which is like, did you know he was his son? No, did you, Ed? And he's just like, yeah. And that bummed me out. But it's whatever. They had the other two that had comedy, I guess. You know, probably as good as my comedy on this. Oh, what else? They had Be Prepared, which originally wasn't supposed to be in it. Maybe they should have just, you know what? I wish I wasn't one of the people who was like, bring it back, give us the Nazis. But also, what was with that, the Nazi hyenas? We weren't in the 20s. I've never understood that. Does walking like this suddenly make you threatening? It's kind of funny, actually. But Be Prepared. Didn't like it at all. I hated it. One of the things that was good about the hyenas and Scar was their relationship, because Scar was obviously the leader. He fit in with them. And they were friends. They were like the only friends he had. And they looked up to him. And I think that was really great. And that's why I think it made it all the better that he led the hyenas. And it felt more connection between them. In that one little scene, you could tell what their relationship was. And this one, Scar's like, they're like, why shouldn't we eat you? And he's like, I have a proposition. I'm just like, what? I guess. And he's singing Be Prepared, which is talking. And this annoyed me, because as he's doing the Be Prepared, he sounds like he's trying to be menacing, but you could tell he's trying to be menacing. It's like, he sounds like a little kid that's like 8, that's like, I'm not scared. I'm scary. I can get you. Like, that's what it sounds like, but with a deeper voice. That's what it reminded me of. And right after that, they have that scene that they had in the original, except it's not good. And they didn't have anything nice visually at all whatsoever. And they cut to Simba and Scar, and the dialogue is horrible. And I was like, if there's one line you should have copied from the original, it's this one. Like, I think the biggest problem with Scar this version, in the original version, Scar was menacing. He was, like, he admitted, I'm not a strong guy, but his intelligence is what made him scary. It made him threatening. That's how it was. He was a threatening character. Because of his intelligence, he had everything planned out. He was a great villain. In this one, it's just like, I'm menacing, let me scare you all. And you didn't see a glimpse of his intelligence whatsoever. It just sounded like a bratty kid not getting what he wanted, which is true in the original, but like, at least he had like more character depth, and you're like, okay, this makes sense on why. In this one, it kind of just seems like, oh, I'm here, I'm a villain, I'm a dick, bye Mufasa. It's not how it works. There's the roar scene and the stampede. The stampede scene, I heard, especially from Nostalgia Critic, that was disappointing. It was. It was really... When I was little and I saw the movie theaters, I had to be I had to go out of the movie theater because I cried because I got scared by it. That's how good it was. It scared me as a little kid. And this one, I was just sitting back going like, oh no, it's the stampede scene. Yay. It was boring. He saves Simba. He gets up to the rock. He does his no, except in the original, the no was like actual terror sounding. This one, he's like, no! Like, remember Star Wars 3, where Darth Vader goes, no, it was like that, but even worse. At least he had some kind of emotion in that one. This one was just worse. And Simba's no just kind of made me chuckle. I was like, yeah! I was like, okay, have fun. I realized that was annoying. But you know what? That clip was Simba the entire time for me. So you're going to live with that one. Oh, God. Yeah. Just, yeah, even here you could see I wrote, God, who casted the kid actors? What was it, the first take? Yeah, like I keep saying, everything was rushed. James Earl Jones was phoning it in. The pacing is horrible. Trying too hard to be funny. Yeah, they just, even though it's realism, it didn't add anything interesting. I just went over the stampede scene. Okay, Timon and Pumbaa. People are gonna hate me for this. I hated them. I absolutely hate them. Nothing against the voice actors at all. The voice actor, Seth Rogen, I was like, he's good, he matches, but I was a little iffy about him. But I know he's a good actor. The voice actors were actually good for those two. I didn't like the characters. The characters changed. Like, the thing that made them, like, great in the original was they were charismatic and they were lively, right? They were lazy, but they were also very lively and they were everywhere and they had good intentions and good hearts in this. Or not this one, but the original movie. They just, like, Pumbaa was completely changed to me. I hated it because Pumbaa in the original is like, he's not the smartest guy, but he's compassionate and he cares and he wants to help anyone whenever he can. That's who he was. Timon was vain, but like if you dug deep down, he also cared. He was also like Pumbaa. They both are very compassionate people and they would do anything for their friend. In this one, they pissed me off. And a lot of things pissed me off. Like all the extra animals that were in it and Hakuna Matata. I totally skipped over the death scene. It was horrible. The hyena chase was atrocious. I never want to talk about it again. Back onto Hakuna Matata and Timon and Pumbaa. There were other animals in this, and I'm thinking of, wow, you spent all this time to add new animals and not a personality for your characters. Yay! They didn't need to add other animals. They really didn't. They just... Couldn't they have worked on their characters to make them, I don't know, relatable, interesting, have a soul? Nope. Oh, God. Oh, God. I think one of the things that Timon and Pumbaa were like, they were like, Hakuna Matata! And I was like, yeah. But they're also like, you shouldn't do this. And they're like, I feel like Pumbaa and Timon were like both very vain. And like they said, like had they not said our friends at some point, I wouldn't have think they were friends. It wasn't like Timon and Pumbaa kind of, yeah, but with Simba, no. I didn't feel that connection. They just seemed like assholes that were like, you shouldn't be doing anything with your life because Hakuna Matata and you should never do this. But like it wasn't like Hakuna Matata, like you don't need to worry. It was like fuck responsibility and everyone else. Like who cares? I don't care. No one cares. Ew, work. Ugh. Like it's not That's how the original characters were. Like they were lazy, but like at the same time they were gonna do stuff and they were gonna raise Simba and like they were gonna like lounge around, but they were gonna like swim and do whatever they wanted. And this one, it just seems like they were anti-responsibility, but they were jerks about it. Like they seemed stuck up about it, like they were better for it. And that bothered me, especially when they're talking to Simba. It didn't seem like friends. It seemed like that, like a babysitter, and they're like, oh, here we go again. There was like no relationship between them. And then the first scene, well, technically the first scene you see with Simba is when he's singing, which he has a beautiful voice, but he overdid it. Jesus. He overdid it. One of the things I liked was in the original, he's like, Hakuna Matata. And this one he's like, Hakuna Matata. Like, it was... Same thing with Beyonce. I will get to that. You remember this so I can get back to that. That's the first thing you see. Then you see him chasing butterflies, and then someone's like, oh, you're a lion. So basically, Simba's character is that he's an outcast because he's a lion. That's all I got from that scene. Then they hang out, lay under the stars, and there's that whole scene, which was completely rushed. In the original, I'll say it again, there was an emotional scene where Pumbaa, he's being genuine, and you could hear it by his voice. He's like, what do you think those big black or white things in the sky are? And Timon obviously gives his answer, and then they ask Simba, and Simba's reluctant to answer because it obviously it hurts him what happened, and he doesn't want to bring it back up. So, but he tells them reluctantly, and then Timon makes a funny comment. They laugh about it, but when Simba leaves, they feel remorseful because they're like, is it something I said? In this one, he just gets up. He's like, oh, is it something I said? And it's like, yeah, buddy, whatever. And then there's that whole scene where Simba's fur comes off, and there's a piece of poop, and the bug rolls it, and Rafiki finds it. I also hated Rafiki in this movie, mostly because it felt like a piece of cardboard that had a mouth. Yeah, that's it. He was horrible. He's like, even when he said somebody's alive, in the original, again, he was like, he's alive, and he freaks out, he's happy, it is time. This one he's like, oh, he's alive. Except a little bit with less emotion. And that's it. There's not, like, almost no reaction from him. Go to the next scene. Fucking cursed. Nala, the one, I will say this, I'll list some good things at the end. The one thing I actually did like about this movie was the scene with Nala. Because, you get to see how the lionesses are doing and what's going on. And I actually really liked that. Because it's like, yeah, what is going on? And how did Nala get away if it's obviously run by Scar and he wants it like he's this. So it was really cool. That was the one scene that actually got my heart pumping. And I was like, ooh, this is really cool. Which should have been the Stampede scene, but it was this scene and I really liked it. And it was super cool. Seeing Nala like, we should fight back. Why aren't we? And they're like, we want to, but he's got hyenas, man. And she obviously runs away. They reunite with each other, Simba and Nala. I did like the lion sleeps tonight. Stupid side characters got in the way again, and I just wanted to shoot them. There was that whole scene. Simba and Nala attack each other. Nala, Simba, and they reunite. And for 3 seconds, I felt like they had somewhat of emotions, and then it stopped. And they reunited, which took about 3 seconds, where in the original, they're like, oh my god, I'm so happy to see you. And this one, they're like, I'm so happy to see you. Me too. Hey, you like it here? Again, what? That's not how relationships even work. One thing things that pissed me off about this movie is Nala and Simba's relationship. As kids and as adults. As kids, the whole point of them being that way and showing that was to establish their relationship. And you felt the connection between them. But I didn't feel that at all in the beginning of the movie. It just seemed like two kids that hate each other are forced to be together and just like, ugh, okay, I guess I gotta say this now. So I didn't feel that, so when they met up again and it happened like this, I can't relate. And Simba, I hate in this movie. Absolutely. As an adult, too. He's like, it's so pretty here. He's such an airhead in this. Like, I understand he's Hakuna Matata, no worries, but he's such a fucking airhead in this. Like, the scene with the butterflies, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. No ha ha ha. And then he's just like, it's so pretty here. The pride walks. You want to look around? Let's go. And he just totally ignores that. Can you feel the love tonight in the daytime? Hated this version of Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Nothing against, who is it, Beyonce that's in This Is Nala? Look, she's a good singer. She should not have sung this song. I did not like this version at all. I'm going to explain it this way. It's going to sound off topic, but I'll make you understand. When people sing the national American anthem, they're like, the home of the, like that. There's like the home of the free, and they hit like the high, they might hit like a high note, but it's like, it's level. It's like, the home of the free. And it's simple, but like when people go to the national anthem, do you like it when they go, the home of the free? Like, no, you don't like that. It's the national anthem. It's overdoing it. It's overdoing what should be a simple but beautiful song and just going full just soul with it. And that's what they did with Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Beyonce's a good singer, but she did that, and it bothered me so much. Like, I wanted to stab my eardrums. I did not like it at all. And yes, I know that was bad singing. I swear I can do better. I'm just lazy. I didn't like it at all. The scenery wasn't beautiful like it was in the animated one. The scenery is just boring and bland, which made no sense, but it's a Lion King live action, so, you know. They have an argument, and I'm just like, I don't really care about these characters, so what does this argument really mean to me? Like, it just kind of, I was like, so they argued, what significance does that play in? Like, had I not watched the original, I would have been like, so what? What's going on? And then he leaves and he finds Rafiki. Again, in the original, Rafiki is a wonderful character. He's lively, he's upbeat, he's full of wisdom, but he has like the energy of a child, and it's really great. And he's just excited and he's so happy to see Simba. But in the beginning you see him, he's like, and who are you? But he does it, but he acts like in a way where he's mysterious, but he's like, come on, follow me. And it's really cool. And this one he's like, oh, hey, you're Simba, Mufasa's boy. Follow me. There's no emotion, there's no energy in this character at all. Like, whatsoever. And that bothers me so much because I really I'm gonna be honest, I love all the characters in the original. I love Scar, I love Mufasa, I love Sarabi. I wish she was in there more, but I still love her because I think she was a really good character anyways. I loved all the characters. Simple as that. I don't know what they did with him. It can't be that hard. You're already filming like you're a kid on a sugar high, going everywhere. Couldn't you at least make some of your characters like that instead of boring? Like, Jesus, if you're gonna film it that way, at least do something. I didn't like his voice either. I'm sure the guy's a great actor, but he sounded bored the entire time as Rafiki. I hated it. What else? Yeah, I feel no connection with Simba. I already put that down. He's not even the main focus of this movie, I feel like. He has no character. He's just a person going through the motions. He's not a character. He's just doing what he's told as the script says to do. It is not acting on his own accord. It's just that he's may as well just put like a puppet in there and with all the like animals and just have him move around, because that's all what it feels like. He just doesn't feel like anything. The only thing I got is maybe he's an outcast because of the animals are afraid of him, but that's so fucking stupid. Anyways, we get to the scene where he sees his father, and by that I mean there's storm clouds. And then they took out one of the best lines in the entire movie that has one of the biggest messages, which is when Rafiki and Simba are talking, Simba's like, I can't go back because it'd be hard. And Rafiki whacks him on the head. He's like, Simba's like, what was that for? He's like, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. And he's like, but it still hurts them. He's like, yes, the past can hurt, but you either learn from it or run from it, or run from it or learn from it. It's that way around. And that was a really, really powerful scene. A very powerful scene. They just took it out, and he's just like, that's my dad, gotta go. Like, it's just like, oh, I've been told what I have to do, best I better go do it. And then Nala joins up with him, which I didn't like either, because I like the scene. We'll get to that too. I like the scene where he sees the Pride Lands, and he's walking, and he crunches on like a dead stick, and it's a barren wasteland. It's destroyed. And it's hard. It's sad. It's like genuinely sad to look at it. You see that like a beautiful scene, and you see what happened, and it's actually heartbreaking to see that. It's not good, but I liked that because Simba's by himself and he's taking it in, and he's not with someone else. But that's when Nala comes in, and Timon and Pumbaa after he's taken it all in. And it's a really good scene. Actually, between the four of them, I think it's a wonderful scene. Because obviously Timon and Pumbaa weren't crazy about her to begin with. But it feels like all of them were connecting. And then there's the live bait scene, which I know they're trying to be clever with the Beauty and the Beast. And I was like, I know I should be laughing at this, because it's just something I'd usually like. But I'm just disappointed so much. It's not funny anymore. Scar's talking about Sarabi and being his mate. That is actually canon, by the way, that Scar does have feelings for Sarabi. I think that's part of the reasons why he resented Mufasa. But they put that in, which I didn't think was bad. It was neat. I think the whole conversation, I think the script was good for it. I don't know. I liked Sarabi's voice actor too. I also should say that I think her voice actor was spot on. I really liked it. But then Simba comes in, and I like that scene in the original because you see the lightning, and he comes down. He's like, Mufasa, no, you should be dead, and he's terrified. But in this one, he's like, Mom, like a little kid. He's like, Mom, no. I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ, man. I know it's great to see your mother, but then, like, he goes down, he's intimidating Scar. He's basically gives off that, like, you can tell he's giving off a vibe, like, I'm pissed at you. How dare you hit my mother in the original. In this one, he's like, Mommy. And Scar's like, hello. And he's like, oh, God, he's a big, scary man. And he just acts like a coward. And, like, the entire time he's talking, I'm just thinking, like, Jesus Christ, can you just kill Simba already? I would be so happy. I wouldn't even care if they'd kill Simba. Why would I? I have no emotional attachment to him. He's giving me nothing at all. I feel nothing for this character. I think I feel more for that bug pushing that turd around than him. Hey, at least you saw his struggle. There's the fight scene. Oh yeah, the one scene Zazu didn't annoy me in was when he met Timon and Pumbaa, and he's like, greetings. Timon and Pumbaa had a big part in the fight that was entertaining, the original. I can't remember if they did anything. I think they did. and I can't really remember it because at that point I was barely paying attention. Probably like you are to this review. I don't know. The fight scene was a disappointment. I hated it. I was barely paying attention, especially when Scar's like, "You wouldn't kill your own family member," and she's like, "No, I'm not. No, I wouldn't do that. Run away, never return." In the original, again, it was menacing, it was threatening, and this one just felt like it's the scene from the movie. You gotta love it. And I didn't. That happened. He got thrown to the ground. The hyenas, that scene in the original, I loved. I hated in this one. They added more dialogue than they needed. They added unnecessary dialogue, I think. You said we were bad and we were scavengers. It's like, I don't care, really? Alright, cool. Then the ending comes. Thank God. And I was really happy. The only thing that gave me joy was the ending song, because the ending scene is one of the best ending scenes in Disney and in Lion King, I think. And I loved it in that one. They had the original music, and I was like, oh my God, it's over. Yes! Alright, very quickly. On to good thoughts. Young Simba's singing is good. Oh, actually, no, that was one thing I liked. The hyenas, actually, the faces they gave on them when they were talking were expressive. Like, they looked like they had emotion. They were very expressive, and I really liked that. As an artist, I pay attention to every little detail. I was like, yes, they got that right. Why didn't they do that with the main characters, though? I like that. I don't know. The animation's pretty. It's good. Not for the most part. It's very good. I don't know. I think Scar's the voice actor for him. I have mixed feelings because when I'm listening to his voice in some scenes, I'm like, he'd be a really good Scar. But in the other scenes, I'm like, oh, can you recast someone else? So it's a 50-50 for me on him. Simba's adult voice. I liked his adult voice. Just his standard adult voice. I think if he put effort into it, it would have been perfect, but he didn't. And I also like the scene with Nala leaving. That's it. That's it, really. I don't have much good to say, which is upsetting because I'm a very easy person to please. As a standalone movie, ignoring that, I would have been confused. I would have been confused. I wouldn't have felt as horrible laughing at Mufasa's death scene. Specifically the flashback, which made me laugh really hard. It was funny. I felt horrible. So if I never saw the original Lion King, I wouldn't have felt as bad. As a standalone film, it's not good. For a lot of reasons. One, like I said, the scenes are so rushed that if you didn't see the original, if it never existed, you wouldn't know what's going on. I didn't feel any connection with the characters at all. And it was a mess. It was like they wanted to do something, but they tried and they couldn't do it. Lion King it's a high standard to live up to. I know that. God damn it, my legs itchy. But it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. Ugh, I didn't like it. It's not a good standalone movie. It doesn't have emotions. The story is too rushed to be able to grasp what it is. It doesn't have any good morals. The only thing I think a kid would get out of that is be lazy. Like, I know Hakuna Matata was, like, maybe part of it. It's like, it's okay sometimes to be carefree. But in this one, the only moral I got out of it was fuck responsibility. We get to do whatever we want because we can. Like, I think that would be the only thing they'd get out of it. And then I honestly wouldn't be surprised if kids like were on their phones in the middle of the movie, like I want it to be. I can't. I think this film is not beneficial. I know a lot of people are saying it won't hurt anyone. I think it will. I think this is a horrible, horrible, horrible movie. I think the messages kids would get out of this is bad. If they understood what any of it meant, they'd be like, I don't know what's going on. What is this? What's that? Hakuna Matata, what does that mean? Being lazy? And because they talk about how great being lazy is like 13 times, that's the only thing kids would get out of it, probably. So, I think it's a film that should never have happened. I think if they were going to make it, they should have taken longer to make it. I don't know, man. As someone wise once said, I drink to forget, but I always remember. Fruit punch. How I love thee. Anyways, I was gonna go on to this thing because not many people have this. And I know it has nothing to do with the review, and you're probably gonna want to click off now if you've even made it to the hour mark. But this is it's at the Disney store. It's a special edition. It's really neat. But it's cool because I have pictures of the scenes. Look, emotions! Look, a not rushed scene. And I have all these pictures! Oh, look, a beautiful relationship that we didn't see in the live action movie. Oh, yeah, that's also bothered me. Timon and Pumbaa were on top of Pride Rock with them. Very cool. I also have a Cinderella one where it was made years ago, but it has a thing where the picture moves and you see her in the dress and clothes. It's really cool. But I thought I'd show you guys. You know, there's some hope out there. Disney's remaking Mulan. Jesus Christ. That's one thing I want to talk about. They're making Mulan. I think they're doing it off the original source and being more accurate to the original than the Disney one. If that's the case, I won't complain about it. Because I think they're actually... The original Mulan was very different. Obviously, there's no love interest. So I think they're doing it that way from what I've heard. I haven't seen Aladdin yet. Mostly because of Will Smith as the genie. And I think I need a break. Disney, do me a favor. Instead of trying to take over everything. Star Wars. I wouldn't be surprised if you took over DreamWorks and Pixar soon. Instead of trying to be a giant, huge-ass corporation, maybe you should go back to your roots and do something that you want. Not the greedy people who obviously want money, but I think the artists and the storytellers, they need... guys, I know you don't think you have power and all that, but if you have something, you gotta give it to people. Like, one of the great things about Disney is it was one of the things. It was like you should be yourself, do what you want to do. Well, take that and do what you want to do, and if they don't like it, tell them to stick it up their ass. Seriously, just do it. I know a lot of 2D animators got fired too, which, by the way, bring 2D animation back because I miss it. But come on, guys. I know there's a lot of talented people in Disney. There's gotta be. After Moana, I know there's talented people. But what's going on right now is not good. I got nothing more to say. I'm sure this will never get any views. But if it does, and you made it all the way through this, thank you very much for listening. I know it's a very long review. And this is Sierra, or Q Kitty, whatever you want to call me, and See you later.